You're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. I'm your host, Shannon Register, and every week we bring you news and information you can use on your next real estate transaction. If you're doing a real estate transaction, you better get it in soon because you got to close by December 31st to get your homestead exemption for next year. All right, we've got the Zeus Mortgage iPad Mini giveaway going on. If you haven't gone over to our Facebook page, make sure you do that now. Go over to Houston Real Estate Radio's Facebook page and like us on Facebook so that you can be entered to win an iPad Mini. It makes a great present this holiday season. If you've got a real estate question, you can always call us, 281-882-8088. We'll be happy to answer your real estate questions right here on the air every Sunday between 11 and noon. Even on the days the Texans play, we're still airing the show. 281-882-8088. I've got Dr. Jim Gaines Skyping in from Texas A&M University's Real Estate Research Center. He calls in every once in a while to give us that update on what's going on. He is the most entertaining economist I ever talked to. So love it when you join me. Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thank you. With that introduction, I'm dangerous.
So I want to talk about next year and what we can expect. Where are we headed? Lots going to happen next year, right?
Lots going to happen. Right now, it looks like, Houston is just on the verge. It's just going to keep on keeping on. Now, you say that, and then all of a sudden you start thinking, okay, well, is that true? And what could happen? And what can make it better? Mm-hmm. And what could happen to make it maybe not quite so good? So let's talk a little bit about how we're wrapping up this year and leading us into the part of next year. Okay. And right now, I mean, if you're not aware of it, we're going to finish 2014 in Houston as the record year for home sales.
Isn't that exciting?
According to the MLS data through the Houston Association of Realtors, mm-hmm. We'll have more home sales this year than ever before. Last year, actually 2013 finished almost in a dead heat with 2006 as being our best year ever. This year will be slightly better. The rate of increase or pickup in the number of sales, though, is beginning to slow down just a little bit, which really is not that surprising in the sense that we had 3 or 4 or 5 years in there where it was kind of flat and, mm-hmm. and even sales went down a year or two back in 10, 11. 12 didn't pick up. So the rapid pickup to get us back to where we should have been mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is not so surprising. And of course, the economy is just booming. I mean, we're adding jobs like there's no tomorrow. Houston has been probably the leading metropolitan job growth market in the country, without doubt. Right now, through October, we're up almost 120,000 jobs over October a year earlier. That's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, will we keep up that pace going into 2015?
Got to slow down at some point.
No, I mean, you really don't want to count on it. And to some extent, now also think in terms of home prices. We're seeing home prices go up dramatically mm-hmm. This year.
12 to 15%. Does that sound right?
I beg your pardon? 12
to 15%. Does that sound right to you, or is that too high?
That'll be true in some areas. I think the overall statistic won't be quite that high, but it'll be approaching 10%. Okay. It'll be approaching the double digits, 12 to 15 in some of the areas, in some of the really hot areas. In fact, that'll be a little low for some of the hot areas. But so it's in that ballpark. Okay. It depends on how you look at the data and how you slice it and dice it. And I don't want to get too statistical. But near double-digit increases, I think going into next year will level out. So if next year we see 5 or 6% price increases instead of 10, 12%, that's really almost desirable. You don't really want to see those double-digit rate of increases go on for too long, mm-hmm. Unless you own the house and you want. But you really don't in terms of the overall market, because those kind of things, that rate of increase can lead you into trouble, and we'd rather level it out and be sustainable. Yeah. It also raises the specter and the problem of affordability. Mm-hmm. That as prices go up, and particularly as they go up rapidly, mm-hmm. at a point, you reach a point where you start pricing people out of the market.
And I think that's already starting to happen in that builders are not building very many houses under the $200,000 price point.
No. In fact, I addressed the Home Builders Association not long ago, and I got that exact feedback. Mm-hmm. And it's not unique to Houston. It's happening in Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. It's happening around the state, except in some of the smaller communities where maybe 150, 180,000 is that break point.
And, you know, I've talked with Mike Sullivan, the tax assessor appraisal of the appraisal district for Harris County. And Harris County's huge.
Yes.
And the average house price for 2013 was $135,000. And we're talking about builders not even building anything close to that.
No.
I mean, that's going to leave a big gap in the market.
It is, and the affordability issue is going to become even more pronounced because on the other side of that, the affordability issue has to do with, of course, home prices, as we're discussing. The other side of that, or the denominator in the equation, is income.
Yeah.
And median household incomes, as a general thing, have not been keeping pace either in terms of real terms. Now, the interesting thing, though, that's happened this past year or two is that a lot of these jobs that we were talking about being created have been good paying jobs. They've been at median income or better level, particularly in the energy sector, the professional business sector, mm-hmm. the healthcare sector, the high-tech industry. We've created in the Houston area a number of jobs, a high percentage of which are good paying jobs. And so that's what's led us to some of these higher priced homes. But like you're saying, the home builders are not building anything essentially under 200,000 with just a few exceptions here and there. And they're building a lot in the over 500,000.
Yes, they are.
I mean, a lot in the over.
Is there enough demand to keep up with that and absorb it all?
So far, yes. You talk to the home builders, mm-hmm. they're building right now. They're building just about as many houses as they can. They can sell just about everything they can build, mm-hmm. and they're reaching a physical limit. They're reaching a limit both in terms of lot inventory that we've discussed before, mm-hmm. Simply because we haven't been generating the land development and the new lots as fast as we have in history. But number two, they're running out of labor. There was a dramatic cutback a couple of 3 years ago when home building went down. Mm-hmm. A lot of the labor went away, and it's been slow to come back, and it's being absorbed. Some of that construction labor is being absorbed in non-construction. It's being absorbed down in the Eagle Ford and in the shale production and other
areas. Some of it in road construction.
A whole lot of it in road construction, and that raises the other issue. Materials. I've talked to home builders in the Houston area that say they have trouble, for example, getting cement for new foundation.
That's right.
Because of all the road construction, particularly the Grand Parkway and other things going on.
Right.
So it's this. I don't want to call it the perfect storm. But it's the combination. It's the confluence of a lot of different things happening at the same time that influences what happens. I can tell you that right now the paradigm in home construction has changed tremendously in the business, in the industry, particularly in the Houston area, where traditionally for the last, several decades, we had land developers out acquiring the next 200 acres and doing the platting and the permitting,
right.
and the infrastructure development and the construction and selling finished lots to the home builders. That's pretty much gone away, and what you find now is that the major home builders are now the major land developers. They've been forced to get into that business. Even some of the medium-sized home builders are having to do their own lot development in order to have any inventory at all.
Yeah, that is true. That has been quite a shift. Interesting. All right. Well, we're going to have to take a break here on Houston Real Estate Radio. We're going to come back, talk about a few more things with Dr. Jim Gaines from Texas A&M University's Real Estate Research Center. You always bring us lots of great information. We appreciate it. If you guys have not gone over to our Facebook page, go to Houston Real Estate Radio's Facebook page and like us so that you can get registered for that free iPad mini that Zeus Mortgage is giving away. If you've got a real estate question, give us a call, 281-882-8088. We'll be happy to get that answered for you right here on the air between 11 and noon every Sunday. We'll be right back here on Houston Real Estate Radio.